Okay guys, hopefully a lot of you have seen my two videos roasting the American Express Platinum card and the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. And I know at least most of you understood that those were just playful videos. And I really do believe those two cards are top of the food chain for a lot of us. Now, I received a lot of requests to roast the Capital One Venture X. And before I do, I have to give some of the special folks a disclaimer. This video is just for laughs. I actually really like the Capital One Venture X card and I do hold it. So please don't get your feelings hurt over this one. Take it for just a silly laugh, and if you do laugh, slap that like button. If you want more normal or serious videos about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, and travel, then consider subscribing. And with all that out of the way, let's get right to it. The Capital One Venture X. The kind of sort of reigning travel card of the year for the last 2 years in a row? Well, maybe. Let's go over why it might not be all that. First off, the card comes with a $395 annual fee. So not only is that expensive, it's not quite as expensive as the top dogs. And that might make you feel a little less than. It's okay if you can't afford Chase or American Express. Capital One has more celebrity endorsements. Amex has set itself up as the prestigious brand. Chase is more of the everyman product, but Capital One is this new kind of upstart that doesn't really have an identity besides screaming what's in your wallet. But if you're going to prepay for travel, why not go big, right? What do I mean, prepay for travel? Well, this card comes with a $300 travel credit coupon to be used in the calendar year within Capital One's travel portal that you would never use otherwise because, well, there just isn't any real reason or incentive to. Who uses the Capital One travel portal? Folks who don't understand what a transfer partner is. But we'll get more into that later. Who needs a 50% boost to use the portal when your card really only earns 2 points anyway, right? It's not like folks are racking up 5 times like on the Platinum card or 3 times on anything even remotely travel related like the CSR. With the Capital One Venture X, you're likely using this card for your catch-all card. And while I do understand that $395 is a little more expensive than most catch-all cards, well, $395 more expensive than most of them. But this one comes with really great benefits. The next thing the card comes with is a 10,000 mile bonus every year after your anniversary. So you'll be almost $800 into Capital One before you actually get your first bonus. Well, let's talk about the Capital One miles and their transfer partners. I bet you thought you'd be swimming in your favorite legacy carrier's currency, right? No, there are no domestic carriers on this list. Only carriers from other countries that you've either never heard of or you'll likely never use. Air Canada? Come on, I'm not flying to Canada. How am I supposed to get all the way to Singapore just so I can fly to Myrtle Beach? No way. Some of these I can't even pronounce, but they do have hotel partners. Well, sorta. Who's getting a premium travel card to partner with Choice Hotels and stay at a Quality Inn by the railroad tracks? Well, apparently you do. Don't worry, if you don't want to stay there, you can transfer out to Wyndham and stay at the Super 8 with the rest of the convicts and ne'er-do-wells. This already sounds like an adventure. Do I think Capital One will end up adding some new partners and maybe a domestic carrier like American Airlines? Ha! Sorry, I had to laugh. Not unless Spirit is looking for help with their marketing. You're probably going to cash out the miles anyway, right? I can understand, but with Capital One, cashing them out will only yield you half a penny per point. So that 100,000 Capital One miles is only worth $500 in cash. Citi cashes out 1 cent per point. Chase is the same. Even American Express gets a little more, but with Capital One, they will be happy to pay out these miles at less than half of their value. Not bad, right? Everyone else can do better than that, but no one has better commercials. But at least the card grants lounge access, right? Because I really do believe that can completely change how we view traveling. Just make sure you route all your flights through Dallas-Fort Worth, Denver, or Washington Dulles, because that's where the Capital One lounges are. Yeah, there's just 3, unless you want a space in a Priority Pass lounge. Might be tough to find a seat in there, but make sure you grab a glass of still water and some crackers before they're all gone. Sometimes they'll even have a peanut medley or something if you get a really nice one. And I'm sorry to say, guys, if you think Capital One is building more lounges, the joke's on you. We'll probably just have these 3 for the next 4 years before they all close. But you can just visit a Priority Pass restaurant. No, wait, Capital One nixed that. You won't have access to those anymore. As a matter of fact, Capital One seems to have a list of benefits they're slowly taking away from this card, but hey, Samuel L. Jackson's in the commercials. Gone is one of the car rental partner benefits, and Capital One seems to have gone away from annual fee increases and implemented taking things away instead. Maybe next they'll limit access to the lounges or start charging for authorized user cards. Well, we're focusing on the negatives. What about the real benefits we can use, like cell phone protection? Capital One has that. So if you pay for your cell phone bill, you can get protection and 2 times earnings. It's decent, even though no annual fee cards will earn more and still provide this protection. Hey, Jennifer Gardner, am I right? Most cards like the Platinum and the Sapphire Reserve from Chase will have a whole host of complimentary cards to support their ecosystem. What does the Capital One Venture X have? Well, they have one card, the Sabre one. Yeah, it's just one card. Amex has the Gold, Green, Blue Business Plus. Chase has the Freedom lineup and the Inks. Capital One just has that orange card. But hey, less cards means less complications, right? Now let's talk about Capital One in general, because it's worth a moment to consider what you're getting into here. With most issuers, when the annual fee hits, it could be time to negotiate a retention offer or maybe a downgrade or close the card. With Capital One, once that annual fee hits, you're on the hook for it. Want to cancel the card? Cool. Pay the $395 first and then they'll cancel it. Want to downgrade to a worthless Quicksilver? Maybe, but they'll need that cheddar first. Not what you're used to, huh? I understand. Now, there is a bright side. This isn't all bad. Let's talk about the customer service. You will never have a reason to really be disappointed or upset with a Capital One rep because there's very little chance they have any clue what they're even talking about. If you don't like their answer, just hang up and call again for a completely different but equally worthless conversation. Now, at the end of the day, none of this really matters anyway, does it? Why is that? Well, after all of this, if you still think there's value in the Capital One Venture X, then go apply. You'll get 3 hard pulls and a letter saying that your credit is too high and you'll be declined for the card anyway. Ever wonder why there are so many folks recommending the Capital One Venture X card? Well, the most valuable benefit may not apply to you, but if you have a YouTube channel, you can get 100,000 Capital One miles from referrals every year. And I'm willing to bet that's easy work for some creators. But hey, if you like to gamble, feel free to use my super organized card link in the description below for the Venture X or really any other card. Using my link definitely helps out the channel and it allows me to do these fun, satirical videos once in a while. And if you have used my link in the past, I appreciate it. This was actually a pretty tough roast because I really do think it's a great, simple travel card that almost anyone can get great value and benefit from. So if this video wasn't as funny as the previous roasts, I apologize. I really, truly think this card is a step in the right direction for the credit card game in general. And I'll also link my Capital One Duo video in the description. Guys, comment below adding your Capital One roasts. And if you have stayed all the way to the end, as always, I appreciate you and I thank every single one of you.